And as we mentioned, the violence continues here in Philadelphia. 3 teens this time shot and killed in 2 separate shootings. Steve's following this. Happened last night. Steve.
All right, Thomas, I'm going to talk fast since it's pouring out here, but we're back where we were last July for another case of wild murder and mayhem that you remember. It's hard to believe we're talking to the same witness we talked to a year ago. You see the part of the Nissan here, a Nissan SUV, a rental, was driving down 15th Street. We're at 15th and South, not far from the mass shooting scene, right? The next block is 15th and Pine. This guy and another young guy are driving and they get into road rage. They're jockeying, cutting each other off. And the Mercedes that you see in this first video here is also a rental along with the Nissan Rogue. And the Mercedes driver cuts off the Nissan driver. The Nissan driver then cuts off the Mercedes driver. And when they get to 15th and Pine on surveillance, the police see all the jockeying, all the road rage. Then they see the driver of the Nissan shoot the driver of the Mercedes, killing the Mercedes driver. Here is the second video. This is what happens to the Nissan Rogue after they flee the scene. When I say they, that is thunder you're hearing, folks, here over Center City. When I see they, it's a male and a female in the Nissan Rogue. They drive here, they're gonna go through the light because they're leaving a murder scene, and they hit 2 women in this Honda in our second video. And that's where you see where I am now. As we come back to a live picture, they got all the cars out of here. There was also a parked car hit, but you see the one-way, no turn on red sign, and you see what's left of the front grille of the Nissan Rogue. So this is a pretty bad accident, but the women in the Honda weren't hurt seriously, and then they were shocked and happy that they weren't hurt even more because they learned from Philly police that that guy had just shot and killed somebody a block back. And they're happy he didn't shoot at them before he and the female ran away on foot, last seen leaving here. Then 3 hours later, the same cops on the same shift go to another scene, and this is where we were last half hour. This is the concessing section of Southwest Philadelphia, and in the concessing section here on Ridgewood Street, they know 2 brothers are on this porch when somebody shoots at them. They shoot and kill one of the brothers, who's 19 years old. Even though he ran in the house, he was mortally wounded. Then they learn that there's an 18-year-old across the street in a driveway, shot 7 times, and he was killed again as well. So we had a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, and 19-year-old all killed within 3 hours. The 17-year-old was the driver of the Mercedes. Police are trying to figure out who rented a Mercedes and let a 17-year-old get behind the wheel. And same, who rented this Nissan Rogue here that's now in pieces as well. Thomas, what an awful night here in Philadelphia, losing 3 teens.
Yeah, absolutely unreal. And here we are, the days of summer ahead. It is 5:36. Steve, we appreciate it.